Do not prioritize someone in your life who does not reciprocate the sentiment. Life is transient, so do not overburden yourself with stress. Every situation, no matter how dire, will eventually evolve. Your worth is not contingent upon another's recognition. Adversaries may reveal truths that sting, while allies might conceal them to spare your feelings. Lead your life according to your desires, as even those who care for you cannot be present at every moment. Peril is a reality, but fear is a choice we make. Within pain lies a lesson, within sorrow lies hope, and within struggle lies courage. In moments of seeming desolation, you discover your greatest needs. People tend to be pleasant when the stakes are low. Not everyone you meet is destined to remain in your life. Some are merely transient, imparting valuable lessons. It is crucial to be humble enough to acknowledge your errors, wise enough to learn from them, and resilient enough to rectify them. Relinquishing control is arduous, but often the most effective course of action. Contentment is not about achieving all your desires, but recognizing the abundance you already possess. Life is about equilibrium. Be compassionate but not exploited, trust but remain vigilant, be satisfied but never cease self-improvement. Even if you are the sole believer in your potential, that belief is sufficient. Life significantly improves when you cease to take things personally. Regardless of your kindness or respect, there will always be detractors. The sources of your current distress or suffering are temporary. With time, they will fade and pass. Never undervalue someone's emotions. You may not realize the bravery it took for them to express themselves. If you lack confidence, feign it. Eventually, it will become genuine. No one can make you feel lesser without your permission. Expectations often lead to disappointment, so it's wise to have low expectations or none at all regarding others. Those who claim you cannot or will not achieve something are typically fearful that you might succeed. Do not sacrifice your well-being to ensure the comfort of others. Assuming the world will treat you fairly because you are fair is naive. It's akin to expecting a lion not to attack you because you didn't attack it first. Worrying is like suffering twice for no reason. Do not fear shadows. They merely indicate the presence of light. Disliking a chapter in a book does not necessarily mean you will dislike the entire book. If an issue can be resolved, there's no need for complaints. If it cannot be fixed, complaining is equally futile. The problem lies in the illusion that you have all the time in the world. Life can only be comprehended in retrospect, yet it must be lived moving forward. You may not recognize your progress because you continuously set higher standards for yourself. Let go or be dragged along by circumstances. Attempting to please everyone will only lead to your own misery. Having more than 3 priorities essentially means you have none. Knowledge is recognizing that a tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing not to include it in a fruit salad. People rarely receive what they deserve. While you may not be accountable for your initial thoughts, you are responsible for how you process them. Never be so kind that you neglect to be clever, nor so clever that you forget to be kind. Your mind may give up quickly, but your body is more resilient. A serene sea does not forge a skilled sailor. Waiting passively for change is akin to waiting for a train at a bus stop. If you find yourself constantly questioning the rightness of something, the answer is typically a resounding no. At a certain juncture, you will come to understand that no one else has authority over your life unless you grant it to them. When you are employed by another, you are entitled only to the act of working, not to the rewards of your work. We are given 2 lives, and the second commences when we acknowledge that we have but one. The cave that instills fear is precisely where the treasure you seek resides. The valuable aspects of life do not come without effort. Everything can be stripped away from a person except for one final freedom, the ability to choose one's attitude in any situation, to determine one's path. It is possible to make no errors and still face defeat. This is not a flaw. It is the nature of life. You will inevitably upset many by doing what is right for yourself. You cannot traverse the ocean until the shore is out of sight. Deceiving someone is simple, but persuading them that they have been deceived is challenging. Any thoughts about the future are merely illusions. Harboring resentment is akin to consuming poison and awaiting the demise of another. There are numerous things in life worth caring about. You can choose to be a negative or positive presence, but only one choice will lead to progress. Before you speak, ensure your words pass through 3 gates. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Feel fear, but act regardless. It requires a significant amount of time to recognize how truly unhappy you are, and even more time to realize that it doesn't have to be that way. The days and nights spent at home doing nothing will not be remembered. Courage does not always manifest as a roar. Sometimes, it is a gentle voice at day's end, whispering, "I will try again tomorrow." The mountain you've been burdened with is meant to be scaled, not carried. People frequently confuse stress with responsibility. Do not hold on to a mistake simply because you invested time in making it. Someone once described hell to me: on your final day on earth, the person you became will encounter the person you could have been. It is not a scarcity of time that plagues us, but rather a lack of prioritization. What would you do if fear were not a factor? There are 2 paths you might choose, but there is always time to alter your course in the long run. Diligence surpasses talent when talent does not apply itself. The very desire to surpass others is what hinders your own growth. Embrace stress as the antithesis of indifference. Life unfolds at a rapid pace. If you fail to pause and observe your surroundings, you might miss out on the experience. Everything beyond this present moment is merely a figment of our imagination. If you were to cease viewing the world through the lens of personal preference and instead perceive things as they inherently are, you would discover a profound sense of peace within your life. In someone's narrative, we may all play the role of the antagonist. The only individual who will recall your hard work is you. Not the company, not your boss, just you. It is not worth sacrificing your well-being for a company that would replace you within 2 days of your absence. Those who take issue with you are inconsequential, and those who are significant in your life will not be bothered by such matters. Continue to expose your heart to vulnerability until it becomes open and receptive. Reflect on a time when you yearned for what you now possess. Strive to become the person you needed when you were younger. When you perform tasks correctly, people may not even realize you've done anything at all. If you find yourself unhappy, it is a sign that you are engaging in self-defeating behavior. Do not fear progressing at a slow pace, only fear remaining stagnant. Sometimes, a hypocrite is simply someone in the midst of transformation. When faced with the choice between being right and being kind, always opt for kindness. Another person's opinion of you does not have to define your reality. The possessions you accumulate end up controlling you. Express your thoughts, even if your voice trembles. Live life fully, without the burden of preconceived expectations. The choice is yours. Make it a day of beginnings or a day of continuations. You miss every opportunity you fail to seize. Youth is joyful because it retains the capacity to appreciate beauty. Anyone who maintains this ability never truly ages. The past is merely a tale we tell ourselves. We convince ourselves that every individual encounters a pivotal moment in life when they must relinquish the past and embark on a new journey. The only lamentable action would be to hold on to the past once it has slipped beyond our grasp. Luck is the intersection of preparation and opportunity. Honesty devoid of kindness is harsh and unyielding. Kindness lacking honesty is a form of deception. They've promised that dreams can come true, but neglected to mention that nightmares are also dreams. There are two perspectives from which to live your life. One is to view nothing as a miracle, and the other is to see everything as a miracle. By altering your perspective, you can change the way you perceive the world around you. You teach others how to treat you, whether consciously or not. I've had numerous worries in my life, the majority of which never materialized. Realizing that you are not your thoughts is the beginning of spiritual awakening. To those who feel, the world is a tragedy. To those who think, it is a comedy. You are either contributing to the problem or to the solution. Do not attribute to malice what can be sufficiently explained by stupidity. Fairy tales are more than just true. They tell us not that dragons exist, but that they can be defeated. Do not seek the past for happiness, justification, or excuses. The world is as it is. You are as you are. Things are only impossible until they are not. Merely getting away with a bad decision does not make it a good one. It is not the critic who matters, nor the one who points out the strong man's missteps or where the doer of deeds could have performed better. The credit belongs to the one who is actually in the arena, whose face is marked by dust, sweat, and blood. It's not your fault that things are the way they are. There are more things likely to scare us than to destroy us. We suffer more in our imagination than in reality. Anger is an acid that can do more damage to the container it is stored in than to anything it is poured on. In a world where real love is scarce, fake love can be quite convincing. Whoever fights risks losing. Whoever does not fight has already lost. We extend our lives when we are fully engaged in living. The purpose of an argument is not to defeat the other person, but to understand them. Life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we respond to it. Pain is weakness exiting your body. Choose your pain, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Work diligently as if someone is working around the clock to surpass you. The past is a construct of your mind. The future is shaped by your actions. A sword is forged through the heat of fire. Many who have failed in life did not recognize how near they were to success when they chose to quit. If a challenge is absent, so too is the opportunity for change. Your most challenging times often precede the most significant moments of your life. The issue is that you believe you have all the time in the world. You have endured 100% of your difficult days. A man must endure suffering if he is to transform himself, for he is both the raw material and the artist. Never lose sight of why you began your journey. If fear cannot be conquered, proceed with courage despite it. Doubt is more destructive to dreams than failure could ever be. When faced with adversity and when everything seems to be working against you, persevere, for this is the moment when everything can turn around. There is always the possibility of a worse outcome. The instant you feel like surrendering is the very moment you should push with greater determination. Cease lamenting the outcomes you did not achieve from the efforts you did not invest. One day, you will be grateful to yourself for never giving up. Imagine if I told you that 10 years from now, your life would be exactly the same as it is today. I doubt you would be content with that prospect. Once we acknowledge our limitations, we can transcend them. A failure is not necessarily a mistake. It may simply represent the best possible outcome under the circumstances. The true error lies in ceasing to try. When a pivotal moment arrives, you have a choice: to define the moment or to let the moment define you. Never abandon a dream simply because it requires time to achieve it. Time will pass regardless. It's meant to be challenging. If it weren't, everyone would pursue it. The difficulty is what makes it remarkable. If you believe in success, you will recognize opportunities. If you doubt, you will see obstacles. The happiest individuals do not possess the best of everything. They simply make the most of what they have. You will die once in your lifetime. Ensure it is a life worth living. You cannot dictate someone's loyalty to you. You may do a great deal for someone and still be treated poorly. If you find yourself constantly questioning the worth of something, it may not be worth it. Do not accept criticism from those whose advice you would not heed. Depart when a promise becomes an apology. Solitude is essential for your mental and emotional well-being. Merely knowing facts is meaningless if you are not willing to apply that knowledge. Believe half of what you see and doubt everything you hear. Aspire to be the kind of man you would want your daughter to marry. If you blame others, do not anticipate improvement. Drinking is borrowing happiness from the future. Avoid making decisions when angry or promises when elated. We become the average of the people we spend time with, so surround yourself with good individuals to become a better person. If money can solve your problem, it is not a genuine problem. Letting go is incredibly difficult, yet it is the most effective course of action. You do not truly know a person until you live with them. Never marry without first cohabiting. Learn to find contentment and happiness within yourself. Relying on others for happiness will make you vulnerable. If you cannot care for yourself, you cannot care for others. Trust is built over the duration of a relationship but can be lost in a moment if you are not vigilant. No job is beneath your dignity. If you commit to doing something, follow through. Your word is one of your most valuable assets, and if it loses its worth, it will be difficult to restore. The world owes you nothing. It is vast and preoccupied with its own concerns to care about you. Do not allow emotions, whether yours or someone else's, to dictate your life's course. If you enjoy what you do, it will never feel like a burden. Self-kindness is the most effective remedy. Do not alter yourself to please others, unless that person is yourself. Some may label you as stubborn, while others may see you as strong. Regardless of their opinions, if you are confident that your actions are right and just, their views should not sway you. You are free to make mistakes, but avoid repeating them. Potential is merely unrealized action. People often engage in foolish behavior as they discover what they truly desire. Do not force yourself to belong where you are not welcomed. Even friends can unintentionally cause you harm. When faced with tragedy or heartbreak, you may never fully recover or move on. Instead, you learn to coexist with the pain. Your progress does not require external recognition to be valid. Achieving something of value and earning it through hard work has no shortcuts. Anyone who claims otherwise is likely trying to deceive you. The only constant in life is change. Releasing your grip is simpler than you imagine, while clinging on is far more challenging. Diminishing others does not elevate you. Choose to do what is right, not what is convenient. Excuses are futile. They do not resolve your issues. True growth occurs when you begin to self-reflect and make corrections rather than blaming others. You reclaim your power by taking responsibility for your life. Do not pursue those who are exiting your life. While you cannot control the thoughts that enter your mind, you have the power to choose which thoughts to dwell on. Do not waste energy on thoughts that do not uplift you. Kindness may not earn you respect from others, but it is the respect for yourself that truly matters. You cannot change others. If you love something, set it free. If something returns to you, it is meant to be yours. If it does not, it is time to move on. You cannot alter the past, but you can shape the future from where you stand now. One of your fiercest adversaries will be your own ego, convincing you that you are infallible, invincible, and without weakness. It is crucial to regularly silence your ego. You often fail to recognize the most precious moments in your life as they occur. Strive to find joy in each day. Your life will not unfold as you expect, and that is a positive thing. Be ready to learn from every moment. When it seems like nothing can go wrong, it inevitably will. Jealousy may cause others to try to bring you down. Do not be caught off guard, as this is a common human reaction. A difficult period in your life can begin at any moment. Usually, you must endure the pain and learn to mature on your own. Do not center all your happiness on one individual. Do not make them the source of your joy, for when they leave, you will be left with nothing. Trust judiciously, not blindly. Never anticipate someone catching you when you fall, even if you have prevented many from falling. It is easier to become entangled in something than to extricate yourself from it. People will often treat you according to their own needs and desires. If someone makes a statement and then claims, "I am joking," they are typically quite serious about what they said. People prefer to hear positive news rather than negative, making it challenging to find someone to confide in when you have problems. Once you have hurt someone, they are unlikely to forget. They will always remember the extent of the pain you caused them. Even the smallest action can have far-reaching consequences. While others may want you to succeed, they do not wish for your success to surpass their own. The word "no" is incredibly potent. Do not become a people pleaser, as you may find yourself isolated during life's toughest challenges. These trials will contribute to your wisdom, maturity, and fearlessness. When you dedicate yourself to someone else's dream, you forfeit your own. Regardless of the kindness you show to others, they will predominantly recall your missteps. To achieve your goals, sacrifices are necessary. It is wise to let go at the right moment, as delaying can lead to a multitude of regrets and grievances. You may not be aware, but the individuals you love are also your greatest vulnerabilities. The opinions others hold of you are not your concern. Adversity can be a blessing in disguise, as it highlights the positive aspects you previously overlooked. Impatience only complicates life, whereas patience can work wonders. Trust is easily established but can be destroyed in an instant. Worrying does not alleviate tomorrow's problems. It only robs you of today's peace. Do not fear making tough decisions. They often turn out to be the most rewarding choices. The more time you spend dwelling on the past, the less likely your future will improve. Action is far more valuable than mere reading and planning. Experience is the greatest educator. Respect yourself, as others can detect a lack of self-respect. Cherish your loved ones, for they can be taken from you at any moment. Nothing is ever as simple as it appears. Good outcomes do favor those who wait and endure. The journey may be lengthy and arduous, but it is entirely worth it. Whether it's a machine, a house, or a relationship, upkeep is invariably less costly than repair. We weep over people, but what about time? Time, too, is irretrievable. Time is of the essence, and one day, it will define who you are. What will matter most are your health and your accomplishments. You make your best decisions when in pain, as the fear of reliving that pain is the most potent motivator. The tougher your past, the brighter your future will shine. Much of what you worry about never comes to pass. You attract what you embody. If you desire better outcomes, strive to become a better person. Just because you miss someone doesn't mean they should re-enter your life. Missing them is part of the healing process. Before you grow old, attend as many funerals as you can and listen. People rarely discuss the deceased's accomplishments. What lingers in memory is the kind of person you were during your pursuits. Have at least one person in your life who offers honest feedback. It's admirable to be generous, kind, and forgiving, but there are limits to avoid being exploited. Clinging to things will only make you stronger but also more stressed. Wishing for things to happen a certain way doesn't make it so. Learn from people's actions, not just their words. Don't react in anger immediately. Let it subside first. Words and actions fueled by anger are irreversible. Avoid oversharing. Maintaining privacy is a form of strength. Don't regret the past, for at that time, you did your best. See people for who they truly are, not who you wish them to be. Never jump to conclusions. Be observant and allow people to reveal their true nature. Never dismiss contempt. If someone views you with disdain and speaks to you as if you're inferior, they are likely to harm you, whether in relationships, socially, or physically. Remove such individuals from your life. Never lend money, as you might lend it to friends for a short time but spend years trying to recover it from fools. Don't share your problems with friends until you've found a solution, no matter how difficult it may be. Don't expose your vulnerabilities. People may take pleasure in your struggles. Don't appear weak in front of them. Listen to those who tell you what you're reluctant to hear. Self-pity is perilous. Steer clear of it. Just because you're enduring a difficult time doesn't mean you won't smile again. Pain is fleeting. You often sacrifice your health for wealth early on, only to later spend your wealth for a single day of good health. Holding on to grudges won't hurt those you despise. It only harms you. Time shapes your identity. Nothing else can define you as well as time. Time is the most potent force. No matter how fiercely you resist it, time will have its way.
Thank you for listening, everyone. Please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to receive great videos every day from the Quotes of Stoic channel. Goodbye and see you again.